Welcome to the Workforce Workshop Podcast, where we teach you how to locate, attract, hire, train, and retain your ideal workforce to grow your business. With years of research, professional experience, and guest interviews, we're empowering business leaders with the information they need to know to build their business. Enjoy today's episode.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Workforce Workshop. Today, we will talk about various types of staff augmentation. In the 21st century, technology is rapidly evolving. Businesses that want to remain competitive need to meet the high-tech demands of their clients. Technology innovation is critical to maintaining a competitive edge, which largely depends on robust online presence. In order to keep customer satisfaction high, companies struggle to provide relevant web and mobile resources and applications. With the advance of technology, the trend towards catering to customer needs online will carry on. As the market evolves rapidly and business models change, we must find new flexible staffing solutions. The concept of staff augmentation has become increasingly popular among modern companies. We can save not only on money but also on time and labor costs by employing these solutions. Interestingly enough, staff augmentation is sometimes not a staff optimization solution but a necessity instead. If the company cannot reduce the work process with its existing staff, it may supplement the current team. This article examines the importance of staff augmentation, its advantages and disadvantages. This episode examines the importance of staff augmentation, its advantages and disadvantages, staff augmentation services, and the difference between the strategy and project outsourcing. Let us have a quick review of what is a staff augmentation. There has been a dramatic increase in contingent workers across organizations globally in the last few years. Historically, administrators have been borrowed across organizational boundaries to cover short-term absences and illnesses. In today's world, contingent work can take many forms, but staff augmentation is probably the most common. How does staff augmentation work? Managers and business owners struggling with this question fear that it will affect future flexibility and cost-effective recruitment. The outsourcing model, also called resource augmentation, can deliver real benefit in terms of improved team productivity, faster turnaround times on software development projects, and substantial cost saving at all phases of business operations when used correctly. In essence, staff augmentation implies the recruitment of staff for specific projects in accordance with the company's current objectives and staffing requirements. Let's say your online store needs a mobile application developed, and you only have 3 developers on staff. A project launch may take 1 or 2 months if you need to find 3 or more programmers with the required expertise. You can achieve quicker software product completion and faster market launch if you choose staffing augmentation instead of hiring more developers temporarily. Furthermore, after the app hits the market, you won't have to terminate the developers who worked on it for a short period of time, saving you the hassle of legal and processes documentation. Now let's understand, how did staff augmentation become popular? We briefly discussed staff augmentation definition and how this approach of hiring offers numerous advantages for businesses, mainly due to the speed of hiring as well as the ability of the employer to add or remove members of the augmented team on demand. The flexibility of this kind is never possible with in-house teams. Finding and hiring a new employee requires a lot of paperwork and official registrations. Employees' termination also reduces the value of in-house employment, especially when the new employees are needed for less than 6 months. The following are some more factors that make staff augmentation attractive to companies of all sizes and scales. Hiring in-house employees is very expensive. Finding new employees require a great deal of effort, and time and personnel turnover is on the rise today. With cumbersome hiring practices, it's not easy on talent. Quality and budget are always the challenge. Augmenting staff only makes sense if engineers already work on your product, but you want to add programmers to the team to develop other parts of it. The shortage of local talent makes it impossible to hire a group of 3 to 8 tech professionals. In addition to the risks and the intensity competitive market, local recruitment is not feasible. Together with a team of programmers, you are developing a tech product and you need to add new engineers to your team. You are looking to extend your search to other countries since the professionals you intend to hire are very rare in the country. Developing your product with an outsourcing company does not work for you because of several reasons. In the first place, you want to be able to speak with your team directly on a daily basis. And secondly, you want to know all of your remote programmers as well, so you will feel like part of your local team. Integrating the remote team with your local team with the motivation to follow a common goal with you and the in-house team is crucial for your success. Now, let's talk about the types of staff augmentation. The different approaches to staff augmentation may be of interest to you now that you understand what it is. Indeed, there are many types, and knowing which one you need can save you a lot of time and money when recruiting your staff. Traditional staff augmentation supplier master personnel and consulting services tailored to your needs, as well independent contractors. On-demand staffing platforms curate the employment and work of employees independent contractors. Comparing staffing augmentation with other models. First, staff augmentation as a result of staff augmentation model. You have the opportunity to select candidates yourself and manage them in a manner of your choice. Essentially, the vendor takes all organizational and administrative duties. At the same time, you are free to focus on your core responsibilities and work with your augmented team in the same manner you do with your in-house developers. Second, providers of managed services. Outsourcing companies take care of all aspects associated with the development of your project. Creating a team with the developers available to manage all processes on their own. It is not necessary for you to have in-house technology expertise or to manage your remote development team. Clients don't always know who is working on their projects, what developers are currently working on, and what the decisions are they making. Third, owns a research and development center. Suppose you expect to hire at least 40 new professionals. In that case, you can establish your R&D facility in a country when the business environment is favorable and it is easier to find high-tech talent. To open your R&D center, you must familiarize yourself with the legal systems, understand the cultural customs, and take all of the risks on your own. Now, here's a comparison between project outsourcing and staff augmentation. By increasing efficiency, minimizing staff costs, and optimizing taxes, both services seek to improve their efficiencies. In contrast, staff augmentation integrates outside specialists into your organizations, while outsourcing is contracting out specific functions and business processes. Here is a short comparison of the pros and cons of both options. The first one is competence and cost. Engineers are recruited and employed by the service provider in both models. However, when outsourcing a dedicated team, the vendor is also responsible for the cost of the office space, software licenses, hardware utilities, employee training, and their benefits. Additionally, they ensure the overall well-being of software developers. When it comes to employment cost, what is visible is just the tip of the iceberg. The software owners have to take into account several factors in determining the total cost of ownership and the kind of project. Nevertheless, if done correctly, this effort will result in a higher employee commitment and lower attrition rates. These measures benefit the outsourcing company, which gain a highly motivated, skilled, and motivated team. Second, the working environment and organizational culture. Both models have significant differences in terms of working and corporate culture. In an outsourcing team, developers can create a collaborative and knowledge-sharing environment by sharing office spaces. The tight friendship bonds and the overall atmosphere and the team spirit are usually not comparable to the staff augmentation model. Additionally, the software owner ensures that the employees have a comfortable working environment, proper career development and mentoring, provides all the necessary tools, and strengthens the company culture. In the staff augmentation model, engineers may not identify themselves with either party since they are aware that sooner or later they will be working on a different project for another organization. Demotivation of this nature is a common cause of job change. Third, managing projects. Although external workers develop the project, the outsourcers typically manage it internally. On the other hand, a dedicated team also means employing a project manager, which minimizes a buyer's project management responsibilities. While the vendor takes full responsibility for the project management, a single point of contact usually is established for the convenience of the buyer. Managing external projects via a software provider's governance system is also a benefit. Having already figured out the most efficient way to deal with IT projects, having several similar partnerships in its portfolio, and simply knowing how to get things done, an experienced software house has an edge. Fourth, vendor relationship. There can be no fruitful business relationship without mutual trust and understanding. A dedicated team of developers typically create a more direct and permanent relationship between companies. By partnering closely, you can gain deeper understanding of your company's needs and challenges. It is very hard, if it's not impossible, to avoid frustration and discomfort in the workplace without trust. A relationship with a provider of staff augmentation services is more shallow and involves providing resources in the form of engineers as needed. Business relationships of this type usually end with the last line of code and are not very deep. In the end, suppliers often show far less interest in the success of your IT project. Fifth, project kickoff time. Typically, the kickoff time for staff augmentation provider is shorter than that for hiring a dedicated team of programmers. However, outsourcers are partly responsible for finding the right match. Purchasing companies may be unable to accurately identify the candidate profiles, skills, and technical expertise needed for the project. They will therefore need to engage an expert either from within or with a provider. Without this, the kickoff may take longer and cost more. On the other hand, the software house is responsible for assembling a dedicated team for each project, scaling them according to customer requirements, and ensuring smooth project management and execution. Rather than stating personal references regarding programmers, the outsourcer is responsible for determining the scope of the project and its functionality. 6. Internal policy on IT. Additionally, collaborating with third-party contractors usually results in the lack of significant shortage of in-house programmers. As software development may not be the core of your business, when you employ engineers solely for the time of the project, you may fall into a kind of a loop. You cannot employ engineers you previously used for staff augmentation, so after the end of the project, you need to find other developers, introduce them to the company, share the know-how and domain experience, etc. Just let them go after the project. And so the loop continues. Seventh and the last one on the list, expertise and knowledge. Another disadvantage of temporary employment is that augmented developers tend to have a little or no knowledge of your organization, other projects or products, or any previous business experience or knowledge of your industry. As a result, you cannot expect them to be as proactive and innovative as a regular employee. A dedicated team provider offers another advantage compared to staff augmentation. A dedicated team supplier creates a close relationship with you that makes it possible to provide your needs in personalized manner. The team can get to know your business on an individual basis. Both services involve the involvement of an outside contractors to accomplish specific business tasks. Although through them, the company can optimize its turnover and cost, increasing the efficiency of its core business and accelerating its growth. Based on the differences between outsourcing and staff augmentation, you can determine which model is suitable for your organization. Now, let's conclude the episode. A variety of industries use staff augmentation to respond to changing organizational needs. With this situation, the company can optimize its business processes, reduce tax and personnel costs, and find qualified specialists for its projects. During times of crisis, when companies are under pressure to reduce staff or reduce costs, staff augmentation is crucial. Consider evaluating all the strengths and weaknesses of the strategy and using it to solve financial and personal issues. I hope this episode has helped you to learn more about the type of staff augmentation. In the next one, we shall talk about advantages of contingent workforce. Links to everything will be in the description below. If you like our content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. It will notify you about the new content that we share with you every week. This will help us to produce great content for our professional audience. Let us know if there is something you would like us to discuss in a future episode. Please click the link in the show notes and you will address your question directly to me. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Workforce Workshop podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Links to everything discussed will be in the description. To contact us, click the link in the show notes and you could submit your questions or share your story. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.